Soviet Union. Crimea, Luhansk, and Donetsk. There are many people, these were many former USSR military bases. All these people had allegiance to the Red Army. They're all Russians. All of them. They wanted independence. They declared independence 2014. Fighting went on. Russia helped them to fight off the Ukrainians and fight the Ukrainians. Minsk won. They had a peace agreement, or they had an agreement. That didn't work. They kept fighting. Minsk II in 2015 kind of sort of worked, not really. And now we're back to 2022. Russia comes in, helping those territories become independent, declaring them independent states, and helping them remain independent. The Ukraine has not had the greatest record of looking after its ethnic minorities. I'm Hungarian by descent. There's a Hungarian minority. After the Second World War, a territory was annexed to the Ukraine in Western Ukraine from Hungary, with Hungarian majority speaking ethnic minority within the Ukraine. So there's an ethnic minority of Hungarians in the Ukraine. The Ukraine passed laws that ethnic minorities cannot speak or be served or helped in their own native language, and they do everything to suppress these ethnic minorities from practicing their language, using their language, and their practicing their culture and heritage. This is true. They do it physically, they do it economically, they threaten, they keep them in fear. I know this, I've seen it, I've heard it, we talk about it. This is absolutely true. Unfortunately, the Ukrainians are not angels. They are not innocent. It's not that Russia is bad, Vladimir Putin is bad and a dictator. Ukraine is innocent and is good and is angelic, and they've dropped from the heaven and they have nothing under their fingers. They do. And this is one of them. The treatment of these people, unfortunately, is not the greatest. And finally, and the final point, but I'm not sure if the most important, but one that needs to be talked about, is the Ukraine is a country that's an interesting country. Ever since 91, they declared its independence from Russia and from the USSR. So its economy is kind of interesting. It has lots of resources, but its economy stinks. Let's be honest. One of the reasons is because its economy is, a lot of it, based on money laundering. There's a lot of mafia activity within the Ukraine. Lots of money laundering and lots of other dirty things that I'd rather not talk about. But it's not just the Ukrainian politics or politicians. The Ukrainian people have suffered greatly because of the politics of those politicians and other politicians from the West. Obama, Clinton, Biden. We know some of Hunter Biden's scandals. We know some of his doings. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Slovakia is very similar. A lot of mafia, a lot of money laundering. And Ukraine is a money laundering industry. That's what it is, with a lot of other disgusting, despicable lawlessness and illegal activity. And don't forget, Trudeau's in on it. And we also have to look very deeply at Freeland. Freeland's grandfather, Ukrainian. Freeland knows Ukrainian fluently. She speaks it fluently. Freeland's grandfather was an editor for a Nazi paper in Poland and in Ukraine during the Second World War. This is true. Fact, you can look at it. She is not allowed to enter Russia because of her past activities during the Soviet era. She's not allowed to enter Russia still because of her activities post-communist Russia. There are things there that are quite intriguing. A lot of stuff that not everybody knows, and a lot of stuff that we just have maybe an inkling of, but it goes deeper. And a lot of these Western leaders have a lot of dirt. A lot of it goes to the Ukraine. A lot of it leads to the Ukraine and through the Ukraine. Apparently there were pictures and sightings of Ukrainian military forces, army personnel, burning lots and lots of papers and documents. Don't know what it is. You can speculate. I'm just saying it's interesting. It's also interesting to note that Vladimir Putin and the Russian forces are not occupying. They're not staying. They're not stopping. They keep moving. They're just advancing and moving in on Kiev, the capital. They've set up shop in Chernobyl, which is not too far. It's about 50 kilometers from Kiev as a base. They're moving in. That's where ground zero for a lot of these politicians is. These are interesting times. We think that Putin is our enemy. I digress. I dare to say differently. Don't get me wrong. He has a complex. He's authoritarian. War is not the answer. A lot of people suffer. But at the same time, he has put a wrench in the works of Soros and Schwab right at this moment. The Western leaders are afraid. They are scared. All of a sudden, Ukraine means something. All of a sudden, the Ukrainian people are the center of the universe. All of a sudden, everybody is for Ukraine and with Ukraine. Every Western leader, from Biden to Macron, all of them. Think about it. Think about why. Think of the timing of this invasion. Think of the timing. Putin is calculating. Putin knows a lot. Putin is anti-WEF. Putin is not globalist. At this moment, I truly believe he's doing us a favor. He's buying us time. I really think so. There are a lot of things that we don't know that I'm just scratching the surface. But thinking about it over the last day and a half, couple of days, this is my reasoning. He's not our enemy at this point. Do we have to be careful with him? Oh, yes. Do we have to not tick him off? Please don't. He's got probably the most powerful military on this planet. And if Trudeau doesn't watch his step, we're Putin within a day, he's taken over. And nobody is going to go up against the Soviet Union or Russia. Nobody is. They're too powerful and too scary, and they will not back down. Trust me, they won't. But at this moment, on this day, at this time, he's doing something that probably will help us. These are my thoughts. I just want you to think about it. Think it through, and trust me. I believe I'm on the right track. Please share. Please think. Please leave a comment. We'll talk to you later.